When I saw that there was a invitation to apply for funding from the Regional Arts and Culture Council, I thought I want to serve my city. So that, this project, Pilgrim at Home, Local Encounters Beyond the Epoch of the Car, I verbalized it as our future. After the cars are gone, how will we meet each other? How will we encounter places? But it's really what we used to do. As it came to me that the windshield of the car and the movie screen, and in the lineage, the video screen, the computer screen, these screens came into our lives about the same time historically, and they framed the world and they separated us from the world. So to get out of a car and just put your feet on the ground and begin smelling in this season the plums and the autumn leaves and the fall wind, and to see the light and to encounter those things directly, I hope that's our future. And so this is what I proposed, and when I'm developing, this is going to sound kind of high and mighty, but the Pilgrim's hierarchy of being. And the highest form of being is to be on foot. I'm finding to be in touch, to have available all your senses of a place. And that's poetry and song. And then the next lower order of being is to be on a bicycle. That's still very exalted, and that's maybe essays. And then below that is to be in the bus, which is still a very worthy thing. But you're cut off. You can't say, stop, I want to look at that. And then the lowest form of being, of course, is to be in a car, where you're being a criminal in the world scheme, and you can kill people if your attention strays. So of course you can't look at beautiful things. You might kill somebody. So that's the lowest order of being. So that's how it is to be a pilgrim. Go forth on foot. Last week I was walking along. I'd taken my car to the shop. I drive a car that's 28 years old, and it won't go backwards anymore. And I know I'm kind of fussy, don't want a car that'll go backwards. So I dropped it off at the shop, and I was walking home out on Southwest Hume here, right off Barber. And I looked down by the road. There was a fish. It was alive. It looked primordial. It was black. It was about this long. It had these sort of bony plates on its sides, and it was just slowly moving. So I carried it to the home of a friend nearby, and we put it in water, and it revived a little bit, and I just spent the day with this fish, trying to figure out what it was, and I called some people, and I got online, and I thought it was maybe a brown Irish lord. I loved the name, but it didn't look quite right. But then I realized I just want to sit with this fish that I've encountered, and it seemed as if it had come, probably somebody, their tropical fish tank was too big and they just threw it out the window. But that's not how I encountered it. I encountered that it was in this place and I was in this place, and so we looked at each other. And, it brought its nostrils up to the surface of the water, and we sort of spent some time there, and then over the course of the afternoon, rolled over on its side and it was gone. So my son and I, we went out where we buried the mole at the top of the garden, and we had a little ritual for this fish, and we wrapped it in grape leaves and put the earth over it. So that was an encounter. I've met a person who seems to be a full-time bird watcher. I think he sells all kinds of goods on eBay all night, and then by day he comes out and he's on the trail down by Oak Bottom, and he began telling me, in my naivete, I said, "Is that an osprey?" There was a bird up in a tree. And he said, "No, that's not an osprey. I'll tell you which osprey that is. And he began telling me the life story of this osprey, how he'd seen it hatch as a chick, and it used to be in this nest, and then last year it came over here. You know, someone with this tremendous depth of knowledge just by looking at things. He told me about the otters and the mink and the weasels and all these things he'd seen in a place where most people are just cruising by getting their exercise. In a class, it's often a text or an idea or a question or challenge that we work with. And I think through my writing, I'm trying to bring back to the library, to the classroom, to the web, to these more civilized venues, the delicious shock of real life, of not knowing, coming around a corner. And what is that? It's a fish.